This is True News, 1 hour of uncensored news, views, and commentary. Welcome to the program. I'm Rick Wiles. Today is Friday, July 6, 2012. New York emergency medicine physician Dr. Conrad Miller will be my guest today to talk about the ever-growing health dangers posed by the release of radioactive material from Fukushima, Japan. First, the headlines. The commander of Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps Aerospace Force declared that the Islamic nation's military has contingency plans in place to attack at least 35 U.S. military bases in the Middle East within minutes of a U.S. and/or Israeli attack on Iran's nuclear facilities. Iranian Brigadier General Amir Ali Hajizadeh said that the American bases would be destroyed quickly by Iran's ballistic missile arsenal, capable of reaching targets 1,300 miles away. The U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet is headquartered in Bahrain, a mere 120 miles from Iran. Russia is warning NATO-affiliated Western nations to not impose a no-fly zone on Syria, similar to what was done to Libya in the run-up to the killing of Colonel Gaddafi. And a high-ranking Russian defense official threatened to equip Iran with Russia's powerful S-300 air defense system capable of shooting down incoming missiles and aircraft. Mr. Ruslan Pukhov, a member of Russia's Defense Ministry Advisory Board, said the Kremlin may authorize the transfer of the S-300 system to Iran if the West brings down Syria's President Assad. Israeli military officials issued a stark warning to Hezbollah in Lebanon. 6 years since the Second Lebanon War, IDF officials said the next Israeli war with Hezbollah will involve massive ground invasion forces and it will inflict incredible damage on the city of Beirut. A senior IDF officer told Israeli news reporters, quote, "The next war will be different. We'll have to attack with more force, more violently, to halt any assault of the home front as quickly as possible," end of quote. He also predicted that Israel would send large numbers of infantrymen into Lebanon to cause massive damage to the city of Beirut. Brigadier General Herzi Halevi, commander of IDF's Galilee Division, clearly said Israel will violently attack civilian population centers in the city of Beirut, Lebanon. He predicted the fighting will be fierce in Lebanon's urban communities. One Israeli commander told a newspaper there is no choice but to fight against the enemy where he is, and that is in the heart of a populated area. I should point out that Beirut has a significant Christian population. Obviously, the Christians will be in the line of fire between Hezbollah and Israeli soldiers. So let me ask you, do you think the Holy Spirit is giving dreams and visions right now to Beirut Christians, telling them to flee to another region before the war starts? Central banks tried again to jumpstart the global economy yesterday by coordinating their effort to pump more funny money into the global financial system. It was another confirmation of an emerging financial crisis in the works. The combined action of some of the world's largest central banks to ease monetary policy failed to reassure nervous investors that the politicians and the bankers actually know what they're doing. Stock markets were down around the world today. There were further concerns that the global economy is slowing down when International Monetary Chief Christine Lagarde told an economic forum in Tokyo that the IMF's global economic forecast is far worse than the IMF predicted only 3 months ago. And while she was in Tokyo, I'm sure she read the news headlines that the Japanese government will run out of cash by the end of October. And remember that big announcement in late June by EU leaders who crowed again that they had solved the European debt crisis once and for all with their $1 trillion bailout scheme? Well, word on the street today in Madrid is that Spanish banks will not get any of that bailout money until sometime after the first half of 2013. You guys are just going to have to hold on. Van Rompuy is coming with the bailout money. Not today, not tomorrow, sometime in 2013. Keep your eyes on the LIBOR banking scandal in the UK. This one threatens to bring down the whole stinking gang of banking thieves in the city of London. The banksters were caught rigging the interbank interest rate that sets rates on $350 trillion of loans. It reminds me of something a close friend of mine said to me. It's about a year ago. He's a successful businessman, entrepreneur, investor. And, daily he's poring over the charts and all the data coming in from around the world on stocks and bonds and commodities. And he's managing his very large portfolio, trying to make the right decision. You know what the Holy Spirit said to him? How long will you study the vital signs of a terminal patient? I thought about that today. How long will you study the vital signs of a terminal patient? My friend, the financial system is terminally ill. It's going down. The whole stinking thing is going down. We can read these stories every day, can't we? But how much do we really need to know about it? It's going down. Are you prepared? Are you seeking the Lord? Are you fasting and praying? Are you asking God for a strategy to keep you afloat when this thing goes down? Because I'm telling you, there is a 150% chance the Western banking system is going to crash. Barack Hussein Obama, the Marxist communist, is preparing to sign the UN treaty to regulate your guns and ammo. I've been talking about this UN treaty ever since it went on the air in 1999. It's finally ready to be ratified by the UN, and here's the problem. The little Kenyan dictator will sign it before it's sent to the U.S. Senate for ratification. Who needs the U.S. Senate? Who needs the Constitution when you're a Kenyan dictator over America? 130 Republican congressmen sent him a letter warning him to back off the UN gun grabber treaty. Fat chance. Obama is a Marxist communist. He could care less what the Congress says. He's a dictator. He's going to sign that treaty. He's going to implement a UN treaty to regulate your guns and ammo. What's he trying to do? He's trying to start a civil war. What I've been telling you for 4 years he's going to do. That civil war is getting very close. He wants that civil war. He needs that civil war in order to stay in power because nobody in their right mind will vote for him in November. And the UN wants a global billionaires tax too. Yes, the UN is demanding a 1% tax on the wealth of all billionaires in the world. And, of course, they want to manage that money. A leaked U.S. Army military police training manual for civil disturbance operations is telling us how the U.S. military will be used domestically to put down riots and confiscate firearms and even shoot American citizens. The document was a training course at the U.S. Army Military Police School in Fort McClellan, and it outlines how military assets will be used to help local and state authorities restore and maintain law and order in the event of mass riots, civil unrest, or a declaration of martial law. It says the U.S. military assets will focus around breaking up unauthorized gatherings and by patrolling the disturbance area to prevent the commission of lawless acts. During operations to restore order, military forces may present a show of force, establish roadblocks, break up crowds, employ crowd control agents, patrol, serve as security forces or reserves, and perform other operations as required. It also talks about how